Hi, my name is Luby Clark. You can call me Luby or Lucia, and welcome to my YouTube channel. For those of you that don't know me, I do a lot of drawing on the internet on my accounts. Follow me on social media for more updates about future projects early, where I post mainly fan art and original character content, for whatever has piqued my interest at that moment. This year, one of those things was Artfight. Now, for those of you that don't know what Artfight is or have heard of it a little, I'll give a brief explanation. Artfight is a month-long art gifting game taking place from July 1st to August 1st every year, in which participants are split up normally into two themed teams. This year, for the site's 10th anniversary, it was 3. The themes for the teams this year were tragedy, comedy, and mystery. I was Team Comedy. As for how you earn points, teams will attack another person's characters listed on their site and get points based on how much effort was put into the drawing. People go crazy with this though, so don't feel pressured to do a lot of attacks at once because that's how burnout happens, and Artfight is supposed to be fun and kind of easygoing. There's a lot more to read up on, and I suggest that you actually go and check out the Artfight site to learn more information from the proper source. However, this was just a general overview. People normally decorate their pages to make them custom for their vibes as artists, and I've wanted to do that for a while. I decided to actually try my hand at completely programming my page. This was really hard, as I have actually no prior coding experience, and I had to have my friend help me. Thank you, Coco. I appreciate you so much. You genuinely do not know. But I ended up figuring it out in the end with their help. Once again, you do not have to do this. I was just ambitious this year and wanted to give it a shot to fit my vibe that I have going for my other social medias. For the 2025 season, I had some goals that I wanted to achieve. I wanted to draw a furry because I haven't drawn a furry yet, so I really wanted to try doing that. I also wanted to try doing 1 mass attack, and what I consider a mass attack is 5 or more characters. I also wanted to draw 1 fully rendered drawing. I also wanted to do 5 chibis and 5 sketches. So in total, I wanted to do about 15 drawings in total. I didn't actually end up meeting my goal completely, but it was still a really fun year. I ended up attacking 9 creators, and I want to bring you along with me as I draw them all. And stay till the end to see the mass attack that I drew. So with that out of the way, let's get into the first drawing. As it is for every year during Artfight, you tend to go around looking at some characters thinking, what am I going to do with my life? And that's kind of how I started my Artfight, until I found the profile for Mellow Chill. I sifted through their profile, they only had 3 characters, but I really fell in love with a certain character, and that character's name was Cypress. Cypress is this beautiful horse girl unicorn. She's a unicorn. And I really loved her design. I loved the frills. I loved the bows. I loved how her hair was half and half. And I just really loved the design. I loved how cute it was. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to do a sketch of this. I think that is going to be the perfect way to start my Artfight off, with something pretty, cute, pink, and pretty simplistic for me to start my art journey off for the year. For this drawing, like I said, I wanted to do something a little bit more simplistic. Now, as she's a unicorn, I really wanted to show off her horn and her tail. So I played around with the pose a little bit. I edited it as I needed to, and I tried to make sure that I got all of the details that I needed to, and I ended up doing pretty decent with it. So I think it turned out pretty well. But I just colored it all in one color. Then I go in with a watercolor brush to kind of make it smooth and kind of more painterly, as I paint in all of the details for her outfit. I really liked the colors, as I said earlier, and it's just a really cute character, and it made me happy to draw it. It wasn't too difficult to do, and I am really happy with how it turned out. I think for a sketch, this definitely is a really good one. And now we get to move on. The next person that I decided to attack was the user Alpine Squib. Some of you may recognize that name from YouTube, and you'd be correct. Recently, me and Alpine became mutuals on Instagram, and I am also a really big fan, and I've been watching his YouTube for a couple of years now, so I decided that now or never, we're gonna attack him. He also made his own video on Artfight about his first year and his experience, and you can go ahead and watch that on his channel. What's really great about this being Alpine's first year is that Alpine didn't put a lot of characters on his profile, and that helped narrow down my choices very much. And I do appreciate that, because otherwise I would have spent hours trying to decide between OCs, and that would have taken a really, really long time. I decided to go with 2 characters at first. My characters of choice were Starry and Nana. I was really drawn to the fact that they were both fashionistas and I could make new outfits for them, because I love making outfits. It's one of my favorite things to do when I draw people's OCs. And I was really thinking about what I wanted the theme to be, and I landed on it being gyaru. To explain what gyaru is a form of expression in Japanese pop culture. Gyaru is broken up into many different subsets. Gyaru itself tends to be a little bit more of a umbrella term, but gyaru really gained popularity in Japan in the late 80s and was really, really popular throughout the 90s and the 2000s, creating a bunch of different offshoots throughout that time period. Some of these styles are included but not limited to hime gyaru, which is a frilly and glamorous Lolita-style gyaru. We also have kogar, which is a schoolgirl-inspired gyaru. This tends to be the gyaru that we tend to see within anime and dramas coming out of Japan. But most of the time, for what you can kind of consider a gyaru and like the key look for a gyaru, it's big hair, dramatic tan makeup, big eyes with really strong 2000s inspiration on any of these styles. All of these styles take really heavy inspiration from the 2000s and the 90s, because that's when those styles were incredibly popular. But like I said earlier, the styles are still popular today. Now that that very, very long-winded explanation is out of the way, we can actually begin the speed paint now. I really had a lot of fun with this drawing, and I hope that that comes across within the process. What I wanted to do initially was I wanted to showcase both of them in kind of like a traditional kind of himegyaru style mixed with a little bit of kogai. But as you can see, I started drawing this really, really big hat on Nana, this Napoleon-style hat. It didn't really end up working out. It seemed a little bit too complicated for me, and so I ended up just going over with a bow. I looked at a bunch of reference photos for these girls' outfits, and let me tell you, it was rough. Trying to look at all of these images and make cohesive outfits is really rough. I then colored a little bit of Nana just so that way I could get a gander of what I wanted her to look like, because she is a green alien and I'm not really used to having green as the skin tone color. But after that, I ended up just going and I finished Nana because I was getting frustrated with Starry, and as you can see, I cut Starry out of the image. Why I cut Starry out was just because it was really time consuming, and I had already spent probably give or take about 4 hours on this, and I wanted to get it in and I wanted to finish the attack. So I ended up just cutting Starry, but then I wanted to keep the color scheme for Nana, so I drew in her color scheme. And here she is, all done, completed, and pretty. What I think I definitely will do next year is I will draw Starry next year. I just got a little bit overwhelmed trying to, for my first big rendered piece, draw 2 girls. So I think that next time I'm going to be doing Starry. But thank you very much, Alpine. I really enjoy drawing your characters. All of your characters are really pretty, and I hope that you enjoy them however you like to enjoy them. I saw your comments. Thank you very much. And now that we've finished Alpine, we can move on to our third attack. The next person that I decided to attack was somebody outside of my normal range of what I like to draw. I told myself when Artfight began this year that I really wanted to try drawing at least one furry. I'm not very good at drawing furries, and I really wanted to challenge myself this year. So I sifted through a couple of profiles until I found this one by Flutters. I looked through their page, and they had a bunch of different kind of adopt characters, as well as some original characters themselves. So I sifted through them, and I found this one called Taffy. I really liked their design. I loved the swooping, I love the shirt, I love how they're bandaged, and I also love that they're pink. What can I say? I love pink, dang flabbit. But I really wanted to draw them because I thought that this would be a really good opportunity for me to draw a furry. I ended up not making this a rendered piece. I ended up just keeping it as a sketch, and it ended up turning out really good. So let's go through the speed paint. For this drawing, I really wanted to do a sort of dynamic posing, so I did some foreshadowing. You'll see here with the shirt. I also really wanted to create some kind of like motion with the piece. I kept it a sketch because I wanted to try doing other images as well, but I ended up filling it in, and I did some more of the line art. I edited it, I colored it, and yeah, overall, I think it was really good. I made the line art pink, so that way it matched the aesthetic a little bit more that I was going for. And I drew their name by hand. And yeah, that's Taffy. I really liked how this one came out. I mean, I like how all of them come out, but I really liked how this one came out because for my first time attempting to properly draw a furry, it turned out really good. And I'm proud. The next attack that I decided to do was actually a revenge. The account named Invader Lily drew my child Daya, and I really liked it. What actually really shocked me about it was the fact that Daya came out earlier that day. So they drew that entire rendered drawing in a day. I was so shocked. So I shifted through their page and I found this character, Bobby. I really liked Bobby's vibe. I liked how Bobby was kind of just being her true self. So I knew that I had to draw Bobby. I wanted to keep it relatively simple, so I ended up really just making it a sketch, which I think worked out really good. I really wanted to try and push myself with a new angle because a lot of my poses had been very forward facing. So you'll see here that I actually edit them on a lot because I couldn't decide on one pose. But I really ended up liking the pose that I came out with. I kind of wanted to make her doing like a grr pose because she's in a world full of zombies, and I wanted to do kind of like a little bit of a nod to that. I also really liked how I ended up drawing her clothes and how I rendered her skin. I thought that it was a really cool way that I did that. I was experimenting with new ways of coloring and rendering faces, so it really made me happy that it ended up working out. But here is the final image. She looks great. I am super happy with how this turned out. She is uber cute. I am really happy with how I rendered her stomach, to be perfectly honest. It was a really good render on her stomach, but also just how everything else ended up turning out as well. I ended up using a pattern for her skirt because drawing check is really hard, but yeah, it ended up turning out really great. The next attack that I made was for an account called Agent Zero. I found them through the random generator for characters, and I ended up sifting through their page to see what other characters they had, and I found this one character named Draka. I think it's Draka. Is it Draka? Draka? I'm a little in on the pronunciation. But regardless, I thought that his design was really, really cool. I really liked the scythe, and I also kind of wanted to just try drawing a weapon. What sucks is that I didn't actually end up drawing a lot of the weapon in the composition, but that's neither here nor there. When I was drawing this drawing, I really wanted to do the kind of like swooping hair, line of motion, and I was having a little bit of trouble figuring out what pose I really wanted to do until I settled on this pose, which was him kind of reaching up and holding his scythe on like the side. I really tried to make it so that way it was dynamic and his hair was blowing, because like I said, I really wanted sweeping blowing hair. And I also attempted to draw a little bit of a scene, as you saw there. I added some lighting that I ended up getting rid of because I didn't really like it, but I also edited the colors a little bit just to more so fit my style and the kind of more vibrant bright colors that I go for. And since he has a lot of green on his settings, I ended up just making him green. But yeah, I liked how this sketch turned out. I think that next year, or if I were to be able to do this again, I would definitely fully render this drawing, because the bones are good. The bones are good, but the meat is a little bit not tender. So I feel like next year I definitely will be trying to attack them again and giving them a fully rendered piece. We started getting to that point in the year when I want to do something a little bit different with my art account. So I was looking through attacks and defenses, and I found this one by Silver Leap. They did this beautiful attack for me called Order Up with all of my other characters. I really enjoyed how all of my characters looked, and I was super shocked that they were able to produce this render drawing. It made me so happy, and I knew that I had to revenge them, so I sifted through their page and I found their Sona named Nova. Ooh, that kind of rhymed. Wait, that rhymed. But I really liked the design for Nova. I thought that it was really bright. I thought it was really colorful. Also, I am a sucker for blue, so it was a really good idea for me to do that. So I prepped myself to do the first chibi drawing of the year. And I think that this chibi drawing is one of the best chibis I've ever drawn. Now, this drawing was really interesting because they actually had a lot of details on their Sona that I tried to pay attention to, but obviously since this is a chibi, I can't put everything into that image. So I really just tried to focus on the details that I thought were more necessary. And you'll see throughout the drawing as I'm coloring, I also add a little bit of details that I was like, I can fit this in. But what was really interesting about them is that they had this really cute Kamihiro Watanuki plush, and I really thought that that was really funny because a lot of people these days do carry plushies on their bags, me being one of them. But I really just thought that that was a really cool thing that they had on their character, so I decided to include it. I also really just liked the color palette that they had for their character. I tried to do a little bit of like a running action pose, and it ended up turning out really good. I was really proud of it, and I thought that the orange did really well. It's a slightly lighter orange than it was for the actual physical drawing itself, but that's a really nice orange, and I like that orange. But overall, the image is nice. They liked it. It was great. The next part of our chibi series is going to be another revenge for an attack. This one is by A Small Blob. I was really shocked when I woke up and I found out that they did this one of two of my characters, Rocket and Espuma de Limon. Huh? You did two characters? That's great. And I really, really enjoyed that they decided to do the restaurant theme, especially since Espuma de Limon is a cookie and Rocket was wearing her lovely little Sweet Dreams uniform. So I knew that I had to attack them again, well, revenge them. And they had this character named Delupi. It was the only character on their page. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly. I think it's Delupi, but we're just gonna keep going on. And I really liked this chibi. It was actually the first of the chibis that I did. It was the real first chibi that I did. But I kind of instantly knew what kind of vibe I was going for with it. I really wanted her to be reaching out and having this kind of like magical snow or light moment. I didn't end up drawing the little particle effects that I wanted to because I wanted to try and just keep it simple. Also, I will say I did draw this drawing at like 3 in the morning, so I was pretty tired. But overall, the character is super, super cute and she turned out really, really adorable. I really like how I drew her little buns. I think that the buns are probably one of my favorite parts of this drawing, as well as her pose. I just love how round she is. It's great. It's gorgeous. And go ahead and support them. The next person that I decided to attack was a creator who did an attack for me. Their name is Magical Melee, and they did this really, really cute drawing of my OC Percy. This is actually the first attack Percy's ever gotten, so I was really hyped about it. But I sent it through their page, and their page has a lot of pre-cure OCs. And I chose their character Hanon or Cure Remedy. And let me tell you, I love Precure. There's going to be a Precure video. Hold up. Let me tell you, I love Precure. So when I saw these characters, I knew I had to draw Precure OCs. Oh my gosh. They commented on my page and I was already planning to attack them, but when they attacked me, it just kind of solidified it for me that I wanted to attack them. The only problem was that they have so many good characters, and I really wanted to just kind of sift through my time and take my time, so it ended up taking a little bit longer for me to attack, and it ended up being a revenge, which is fine. I was really, really proud of the image that came out anyway, because I decided to draw the same character, but it's also two characters. But overall, I really like how pink it is. I'm gonna be so honest. I chose her partially because she's the pink cure, and I love pink, as we've previously established. I'm going to keep reiterating it because I genuinely do love pink as a color. It's something about it. Something about it. But yeah, here's the actual drawing now that I've gone on my little color and precure tangent. What I wanted to do for this speed paint was I really wanted to show off that these two characters were actually one. So I decided to do this cute, fun little pose where they were holding hands and one of their feet's up together, but they're facing away from each other with her two different forms. I think that this was a really good decision because it was able to show off everything on the characters, but also maintain this cute, fun little dynamic that I think, reading off of Hanon's bio, was really kind of her personality, which is fun, sprightly, and very cute. I wanted to make her cure self seem a little bit more mature somehow, so I made it so that way her cure had a little bit more of a relaxed expression instead of such a happy, jolly one like Hanon. So Remedy is a little bit more calm in her expression, but these colors are actually really, really great. I loved working with these colors. I think overall the design that it is and the fact that Remedy's hair is in a donut, that was great. That was a fun little thing that I worked with when I was working with it, and the colors and everything ended up turning out really, really great. I'm proud of it. I decided that it would be better to just kind of do a lot of more flatline color instead of fully rendering it out. And it ended up working in my favor because it brought more attention to their faces instead of trying to worry about rendering out all of their clothing and everything. And also, if you notice in their hair, there's little flower details, and I tried to match it as close as possible. Obviously, once again, these are chibis, so their forms are going to be slightly altered. But I had a really fun time, and when I put it on there, Melly was really happy with it. And at the end of the day, that's really all I'm looking for, is the happiness of the recipient. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. And now we are on to the final drawing! The next person who I'm going to be attacking is the account Actually Ray. A lot of you who are watching this video, because most of you are probably my friends, families, and mutuals online, probably already know who Ray is. Ray is an individual who has been on YouTube since, I believe, the second generation of YouTubers, which is, I think, 2011. So they've been on the internet for a very long time. I discovered them in 2016, 2017. I was 6th grader. But I've been watching their content for a very, very long time, and a really big part of that is watching the Prism OCs and how they've changed throughout the years. Now, it had been a little bit since I had consumed anything Prism, so I told myself, well, let's watch all of the old videos. How long could that take? It took a really, really long time. I probably sifted through over, I think, 6 hours of content in total. I wouldn't be surprised if it's closer to 9. Editing, Lucia, you gotta step in here and tell me how long it ended up taking. Hi, Editing Lucia here. I did the math, and it ended up being about 322 and a half-ish minutes, which in hours equates to about 5.5 hours of watch time. Thank you, Editing Lucia. Your service is very, very honored. But regardless, I watched every single video, every single short. I consumed everything to refresh my brain. But it wasn't time wasted. It was actually quite enjoyable. And I watched it while I was doing the actual drawing throughout the course of the month. So I didn't sit there and just consume 9 hours of content in a row. Don't worry. I spaced it out. Something that I enjoyed watching while going through this process was seeing Ray and their team going through all of Prism and collaborating and figuring out how things are gonna go, how they want to assess this world, what do they want to do for the world. And I thought that was a really, really cool idea. I might actually do that sometime. I don't know. Depends on whether or not my friends are busy or not to get on a Discord call. Also, I've never been on a Discord call. We'll put a pin in that for now. I really, really enjoyed drawing this drawing. It was such a fun journey to go through for the course of the month. Now, as for the characters that I decided to draw, I decided to draw the entire main Prism cast. I decided to draw Apollo, Aloe, Cynthia, Ben, Kat, Neneko, Zuzu, Reese, Hotoko, Sarah, and the twins, whose names are Felicity and Ilaria respectively. Now, I hope that you'll find it in your hearts to forgive me. The length of the speed paint was really, really long because this drawing took 14 hours in real time to draw. So the file is very, very long. I'll try to talk throughout it and explain my process with it. Just note, it's a little bit longer than the others. With that out of the way, let's get to painting. Okay, so the quality of the mic changed because all of my mics are dead. But to go on to the speed paint, I started out with doing a thumbnail as I was watching the first couple of new editions of the video, And I, as you can see, was fixing the thumbnail as I was going because I kept learning new information. And I decided I wanted to try doing a logo. Didn't work out. Then we go from the light sketch, as I like to call it, into the actual sketch. This sketch is what I use to make sure that I have detail. The first sketch was really just the idea. It's the thumbnail sketch. It's the simplistic idea. But I go through and I do all of the details, figuring out everybody's placements and their designs and doing more detail within the design. I am doing Cynthia and her family first, so that includes the twins, Aloe, Apollo, and later Ben's placement on the drawing moves. We're just not going to see it right now because I wasn't thinking about composition perfectly. But then I draw some cat, and then I draw Neneko. I decided to draw Neneko in their wonderful secondary outfit because that's the outfit that Ray said we were going to be seeing a little bit later on in the story, so I wanted to try and bring that in. Then I sketched Zuzu, Reese, and Sarah. I really wanted to just make it so that it was kind of like a swooping composition. So you start at Apollo and then you slowly go down the way until you go back to Reese. That's kind of the composition that I wanted to do. Then I do some base color just to get everybody's color scheme down, to really think about, oh, this color is gonna go here. That's what this person looks like. And now I'm on to doing the actual liner. I actually jump around doing the liner a lot because I get bored very easily. So, especially with how long this drawing took, if I don't take breaks and jump around, it's not gonna get done. But as you can see, some of the liner is black when I'm drawing in it, and then I turn it red. The reason why it's black when I'm drawing it is because that helps me differentiate different layers from each other. So if I'm working on one drawing, it allows me to tell the difference between other layers. Now, do I do this for every drawing? No. It really depends on what I was feeling for the day, but that's the general consensus around that kind of thing that I do. And then I just go through and I line everything, line everyone, and make sure everything looks right. I'm looking at it through the layers, figuring out placements. As you can see, I changed where Ben is because I didn't like where he was before because it made it a little bit too cluttered. Then we get on to coloring. Wonderful. We're drawing Cat. I changed the background to red because Cat's hair is white. Oh yeah, Cat's hair is white. So it was really rough trying to color that hair initially. Then we move on to everybody else, and I do the base skin tone color for everybody. This is the point in which I really just kind of jump around. I believe I do all of Neneko, and then I just jump around to everybody else. I don't think I really complete anybody in one fell swoop, like going one by one. I think it's just more of like a bouncing around kind of dealio. But then I move on to drawing Cynthia and her family. Then we move on to rendering Cynthia. I was really proud with how Cynthia's skin turned out because Cynthia is very, very pale. So I wanted to try to bring a little bit more color into it with the pinks. And so I used about 2 or 3 different color pinks to really accentuate that. The shading for this as well, I did color pick from the references that I had downloaded. I had all of the reference sheets downloaded, and then I just kind of color picked as I went. And Hotoku's braids were really fun to draw. I had a lot of fun. I did all of those braids individually, by the way. So all of the lines that you just saw being drawn, did those by hand. I also really, really liked how Cat's skirt turned out. Beautiful. Yeah, and then we finish up Ben. We do some of his little water effects because he's a liquid. I'm forgetting the correct term for it, but he was like a liquid guy. But here's the whole thing finished. I really, really liked how it ended up turning out. It is honestly the best thing I probably have ever drawn. And I truly just enjoy it so much. I really enjoy all of the details and the slight subtle blue gradient at the bottom going up. Like I said a little bit earlier, I really liked how Kat's skirt in particular with the gradient of the rainbow turned out. I also really liked how I did the metal. Now, let me tell you, metal is hard. I hate rendering metal, but ever since I followed Ray's way of doing metal, of rendering out metal, suddenly I love metal. And I feel very confident in drawing the metal. So thank you, Ray, for that. I appreciate that very greatly. But yeah, this is the final image. And I will say something that I did realize was the twins actually aren't attackable. Yeah, I drew the twins because they had references on every like a couple of other people's sheets. And then I realized, oh, wait. Huh? Wait, they're not attackable. Oh, okay. So we really just drew them for the love of the game. And that's okay. But yeah, that is that attack done. And since that was our last attack, that unfortunately means that we are at the end of the video. I would like to, first of all, thank everybody who attacked me or revenged me. I thank you guys very much. I loved all of the art that you guys gave me. I have it downloaded and saved to a fun little folder. And for those of you who I wasn't able to attack this year, don't worry. You're next. I'm gonna get you next year. But until then, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and make sure to share it. All right, well, until next time. Bye-bye, my fine feather friends.